No. Afterburn and all of my other VODs are on YouTube. I haven't been able to make highlights for my other VODs yet. Like the what isn't on YouTube for Afterburn yet is still here as one of my past broadcasts until I empty out all of my highlights. This elevator doesn't work.
Evening. Ah, great.
Is this one still broken?
Correct.
It must be.
Oh dear, why do I pay these people?
It's been out for quite some time. Mind you take it?
It should be fixed. I pay these people quite a bit of money. They should fix our shit.
I don't even know exactly what's wrong with it.
It's most likely a counterweight or something else like that. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with the lifts.
But yeah.
I don't know.
You can never find a reliable repairman these days.
Yes, I will be getting them moved into YouTube as soon as I have moved a lot of my other stuff over, so that I can start emptying out my highlights on Twitch. And then once they're emptied out, I can start making more highlights.
The royalties of
And
that are a pain in the
once I
ass.
have the highlights made in Twitch, I'll be moving them
I'm sure
to
we can get someone to
YouTube.
make something.
Sure, it'll play.
Do any of your squires have any musical talent?
Yeah, I'm doing my
Musical talent
thing to say I
is
went to
not
Correct.
something that is
I
tracked.
hate having to keep these spreadsheets. They're really infuriating.
You could give it a try, I suppose.
It would be better to ask members of my research team that question than my squires.
That would be better. However, I feel the entirety of the elevators will be filled with video game music. As well as,
I'm in. Boom.
what do they call those?
I'm in.
Anime?
I'm a hacker.
Possibly. They seem to have a preference for such things,
You
given
log
their
into an
recent
account, I don't know if that counts as hacker.
hard light
I'm
construct
actually-
recommendations.
Guy, I'm a hack.
So.
I'm very tired. You know, this month, or couple of months, it's been difficult for me, you know that? Like, really hard.
You have my
I'm
sympathies.
I'm very tired. You should. I watched my friend die, like, a couple months ago, which was cool. They died in my arms, and then I watched them get resurrected as, like, a fucking monster thing. And then I got to see what Malleus looked like in his real form, and he took me to another dimension. I went to another dimension, by the way, like another plane, and there was bones everywhere. And then, oh my god, don't even get me started on fucking the other guy. What's the other guy fucking name? The guy that's now a council member of Palace? I don't even remember his name. That's how frazzled out
Jonas.
I am. Yeah, that guy. Oh my god. His connection with that person that died is like weird, because now that person looks like the body. They stole a body. Did I mention they stole a body? She's a star now. She eats stars. Anyway.
Did
good to
you
see all of
attend that meeting of other councilmen with appropriate security?
What meeting?
The one where you
Oh.
went to the bone dimension?
No, he did not.
Wait. Well,
Don't tell anyone, other than
Actually-
right now, that you have been to a dimension of bones.
no. This is like the first time we talked about. Hey, okay. So, Chuckle, nice man number one, and nice man number two. I'm glad that they came with me, actually, because I probably would have died without them. But okay, they were in danger. I got a distress call because I was gonna have a meeting with Jonas's right hand who's also like my close friend, and then their transport got attacked by a Rand corporation, and I was like, fuck, I don't have time to think about this. So I just grabbed my shit, I went, and they followed me. There was no meeting. There was just panic. That was it.
Understood. But if you do tell at least one of us, we can make sure to ensure your safety on your adventures.
Okay, yeah, I never. I really didn't think about that at the time. Yeah, maybe. That'd be kind of good.
One of those ones that you wear
I
around your
understand you weren't thinking about it, but I don't think this district needs a third dead councilman in as many years.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have my eye on, so, I mean, you could download everything I saw for night, probably.
neck. Fantastic. And we shall.
I don't know if the other world be played. Did I mention I stepped on a bunch of bones? It was made of bones. I went
But
to,
imagine
I
if
think,
you went
I went to hell or
into a
something.
dimension
I
filled
went
with
to hell.
Bones. It would only make sense that you would step on a few bones, darling.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to think about it. Malleus made my friend into, like, him. Now.
We'll discuss
So-
the details of that at a later date. For now, I'd like to get this meeting underway. We do have some topics already lined up.
Yeah, do you think yeah.
Excellent. First order of business, I would like to introduce you to your new coworker. They prefer to go by Null. If you have not read their file, it is available to you on the network, so feel free to look it up over. They will be overseeing management of dark zones and underground facilities of the sort. Their particular durability will allow us some wiggle room when sending them into areas such as those. Though we will, if you don't mind, if you could help them acquire some more fitting clothing. I've been a bit wrapped up in getting them acclimated as well as my other activities to appropriately dress them before the meeting.
Of course. We'll make them
If you would
prim
like.
and proper.
I can do what I have done for Ares and take you shopping to get you appropriate attire.
Oh, you're gonna have a great time.
I'll leave that to your preference. You can join Knight if you would like to go shopping with them, or you can join Overlord and they will tailor something for you more personally. You don't have to decide now, though. Great. For our meeting today, I have a few topics, some of which will be lightly going over some recent events, but primarily I have directives for each division here that will overall increase the security of our district. So as these are assigned, I will expect you to carry them out to the best of your ability. Some of these tasks you may feel won't represent your particular strengths or weaknesses at the surface level, but I have selected you for these particular tasks for specific reasons. So please do carry them out to the best of your ability. First, I'm going to be assigning 3 tasks to Overlord. You will be accompanied by Herzog in these tasks. These 3 tasks are: I want a completely updated transit network blueprint. Everything that it is. Hello. I spoke assuming you were here. I suppose I should have checked if you were. Glad to know you are.
No offense, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Naturally. So the 2 of you, I would like to have complete updated of all of the rail systems above and below ground. I'm sure our blueprints are likely accurate, but I'm not 100% confident, and I like to be 100% confident in these things. So you may take whatever resources you need, be them strike teams or surveying teams to accomplish this. And I know it will take some time, but please, I would like complete surety on what
We
this
do have
state.
some supply
Yes.
trains moving from, I believe, garden and industrial back over to our controlled zones. But other than that, the actual proper metro system of the district, I am not fully served functionality.
Precisely. And I would like to be sure of that. Yes, Herzog.
How extensive do you need this? Because we are talking about a task that could stretch for months, if not years. Given how many small alleyways, hiding spots there are that are frequented by the gang members and other people from the underground.
I understand the difficulty that comes with this potential project, but this is something I'm willing to accelerate. So funds and manpower will be allocated to you two. I do not expect you to both personally map out each of these systems, of course. You are simply overseeing the project. So you just requisition whatever you need through me. I will get it approved, and we will get this done, ideally within 3 to 6 months.
It's a tall order.
It
This
is a tall
district
order
has...
indeed. However, it should be doable with the correct equipment.
Even with the correct equipment, the underground has its ways to hide their passages, make sure that places stay hidden.
First, it would mostly be a preliminary scan, making sure the tunnels are safe, secure, able to hold freight and other things like that. Then we would move more towards the out branches, secret tunnels, as so they would like to say. Most of it, I imagine, would be done with autonomous drones.
Yes, of course, we can have unmanned drones or unmanned vehicles move through these sewer systems as necessary, and then when you find things that require the human touch, we can provide teams.
Indeed.
For your second, I would like to begin a utility access point program. This is something that's been a recurring issue as some various activities have occurred, such as the appearance of entities around our electrical grid at access points for both electrical power plants and underground sewage, anything like that, public access utilities. I would like to make sure we have good security cameras. You know, we have apt monitoring for anything in the area, increased levels of things that should not exist there, like mana or anything like that. Just whatever kind of security measures are necessary that we can get alerted quickly to anything occurring in those areas. That one should be a much simpler task. Again, that's just an oversight project. You can send auditors to each of those locations, and we'll have contractors install whatever is necessary. I just need the compiled list, and we will get everything sorted there. For the final task for your group, we will be running a power grid load test. I want to know which grids are controlling exactly which city blocks, which zones, all of those kinds of things. That way, as we've seen with recent targeting, if there is any damage to anything, we know exactly the extent of where the damage is going to be and what the areas affected are. Then we might not have to shut down such wide radiuses and cause panic when something does occur to them.
Most, I believe. I'm not a full electrical engineer, but how it was described to me, there is a great spine, as he called it, that runs from our generators and moves towards the rest of the city. As it moves across each zone, and then that branches out in capillaries and other things like that, and that feeds the power. I suppose in certain places we can install more cutoffs to make it fractions of a zone that can be cut off from power instead of the entire zone itself. Because currently I believe it is the entire zone or the entire zone stays on.
I see. We can start with some more well-populated zones in that matter. Begin near, of course, the tower and some of the financial and shopping districts. Some of the zones that are, further south or further north that are either not so populated or not so well funded, we can delay those until later. But for now, I would just like you to verify that that is indeed exactly how our layout works, how difficult it would be to potentially add those kinds of fail-safes for particular sections of a zone, things like that.
Right.
Excellent. Thank you. My next task group will be for Null. You will be accompanying Lockdown. You, again, will be assigned 3 tasks. For your tasks, I would like you to, Lockdown in particular, this one will be more heavily on your end, and I am relying on you to help show Null the ropes of how things work around here. So I will be leaving them in your care. The first task is I would like to acquire a more thorough behavior profile analysis of the district. I'd like you to locate zones that are prone to social panic, things that, if there were abnormal market movements, or if there was, business problems, if there were riots, anything like that, zones that are particularly likely to flee or get violent. That way we can more accurately assign our response teams. Our next one for you will be emergency response drills. Due to the recent chemical attacks, I want to make sure that everyone in the district is prepared for eventualities like this. Run things with local fire departments and emergency services to instruct civilians how to get indoors quickly in cases of something like this, proper equipment or safety protocols for avoiding mass civilian damage in an instance like one of these gas attacks. And you can include other things like flooding or fires or just general use subjects. Finally, I would like you to look into the chemical incidents that were occurring recently. We do obviously know they occurred and are gang-related, but we are not exactly sure which side instigated it, which side the gas belonged to. I have some hunches based on previous data, but again, I like to be 100% sure and not work on hunches.
Is there any specific incidents you wish to turn my gaze towards, or all the ones that have happened in the last few months?
Yes, absolutely. The gas attacks generally are pretty rare. Usually those kind of chemicals are pretty well controlled, so hopefully that might help narrow down where this is coming from. At the very least, we can perhaps get these civilians in areas we think are in danger some better equipment to deal with something like that occurring.
Let's see. Some form of shadowing or babysitting, I suppose, for Null.
Yes.
Overwatch for civilian unrest. information distribution to emergency services and overall civilian establishments, and information gathering garnered towards the chemical outbursts in the districts. It's more of like a job for care of anyone, but I can see the merits in assigning myself to that. I do prefer
Yes.
to work alone, but I'll make do.
Very good. Finally, I have tasks for our lovely, why am I forgetting his name? Care. Care, and remind me, Hemlock, yes?
Hemlock.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Great. I'm glad I still am. For both of you, you will also accompany Null at one point during the next few months. I would like them to be brought to various dark zones. You can utilize them however you see fit. They are, as I mentioned, extremely durable. If you are unaware and have not read the file for anyone here, there was an incident that I will spare the details of, but it has essentially led to this. We are not sure quite who they were, but they were someone at this incident. There is a core inside of them, and as long as the core survives, you can slap flesh on them and they will function as a person. So
Right.
their consciousness, their identity seems tied to the core, so even if you lose the head for whatever reason, as long as you retrieve that, they will still be usable, which I'm sure you understand why that is extremely useful for Dark Zones. For the particular task, I would like them to double check all of our security seals on zones where things are not meant to be going in or out. For these research centers, you can have them inspect the inside and outside, just to ensure that there are no leaks of creatures or chemicals or anything of the sort leaving these zones where they're not supposed to. In addition, I would like all four of you to work with Knight, the three of you to work with Knight, to secure private access routes to key zones. There are obviously some particularly high traffic zones that might require more immediate attention in some cases, such as the financial districts and down towards the generators. I would like to ensure that we have a corridor that is well secured for our transport in particular, whether that be setting up security measures or just surveying the area. I'd like to make sure that we have something where we can discreetly travel to and from these areas when necessary. In addition to that, for the last one, I want portable detention prepped, things that will function sort of like a mobile mini prison that can hold a few people. I've been working with some people in the social sectors, and they have been suggesting something like a festival, a parade, something to kind of raise spirits, to keep the public calm in this turbulent time. But that, of course, mass gatherings comes with the risk of riots or outbursts. So I would like to make sure ahead of time we are prepared for such an incident, and we have the tools necessary to contain it should anything occur. And I did lie, I actually do have one more for this group, which is I would like to launch an... Oh, perfect.
Come on, man.
Apologies.
There's a time that we come to these meetings. This guy.
I know.
and I'm deeply sorry.
I missed the last one.
It's fine. Please just join us and I can give you the rundown. I have been assigning groups tasks. Again, I have mentioned that these tasks may not seem like they are particularly suited for your strengths sometimes, but I have picked them specifically for these groups for a reason, so please accomplish them to the best of your ability. Your group, yes, as well. This is your new co-worker. Their name is Null. They are overseeing dark zones. You will be working with them partially in your team. They are particularly effective in dark zones. If you did not read over their file, to remind you, there was an incident which I will spare you the details. There is a Magitech core inside of them. Their consciousness and being is tied to it. As long as that core survives, you can slap flesh on them and they will function like a person. So even if you lose the head or anything, as long as the core is retrieved, they will exist. Which I'm sure you can see why that is useful for dark zones.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, continue on.
Let me run you down on your tasks. No problem.
I do have some things I would need to bring up to everyone, however.
Sure. Let me finish with your group here and you can bring those up. Yours was the final group, so. Your group is going to be with Hemlock, partially with Null for some of these tasks, and Knight. Your tasks will be securing private access routes to important zones, just making sure a corridor exists that is easy for travel. I actually would like you to partner with Lockdown on one of these. He is working on emergency response drills with local fire departments and medical services in case of fires, floods, gas attacks, things like that. I just want people ready to move to a safe location, so I think you would be a great fit for working with him on that. We're preparing, again, light on details just to catch you up, a festival sometime soon, so I want portable detention prepared in case there are riots or upsets or anything like that, that we have the tools necessary to manage the scene.
I'll oversee it personally.
Excellent. And the main one I would like you personally to be overseeing is I would like to introduce an officer-civilian integration program. This is an old technique, something they call community policing. Get friendly with the locals in your district. You know, there are...
Neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch. I'm even willing to give you a small list of low-level crimes and low-fine crimes that I'm willing to let your officers make judgment calls on a case-by-case basis to dismiss certain charges to foster trust in the community.
Do you know what else we could do, darling?
Please suggest.
We could subsidize those camera doorbells.
It's true. We could do that.
Make it so that every household can get one free of charge, off their taxes, something else for that matter. And we both make them feel more secure, and of course, in that massive document that everyone just scrolls to the end and signs, we give ourselves access to household doors across most of our controlled area.
I like the idea. We are loaded on
Roll
tasks
inventive.
for now, so I will put it on the back burner of tasks we can accomplish. But
Weird.
it is a good idea. I do like
The
it.
exterior of their house, darling.
Yeah, but
I believe that is all of our tasks. We've covered everything. All of you should know your groups and your tasks. If you have questions or complications, of course you can reach me at any time. For the groups that are working with Null, please show them the ropes appropriately, and if there are any incidents or anything you think I should know about, do let me know. Null, you have access to my number. You can reach out to me if necessary. Care, I believe you had something to bring up before we adjourn.
If I may interject. Okay, is this about the conversation that we had, or is this something separate?
This is separate.
Understood. I have something else to bring up then.
Noted.
I have managed another meeting with one of the Whispers, Wrench. And we traded info where we were allowed to. I'll be uploading the video recording to our archives in a couple hours here. I apologize, I haven't had the time to get to it. But, the Whispers... From what they've told me, are suffering a food shortage.
I
That
see.
mall that went up in flames was, according to him, their main storage place for most of their supplies. And he is requesting if there's a way for us to assist. And I, of course, told him not without a price.
I see. Does anybody have a request they would like me to put in as this price before I unilaterally decide what it should be?
I would say whatever this price should be, it should be significantly high. The Whispers count how many mouths to make a
They're not
actual
requesting
impact?
a supply line from us. They're requesting a building.
Building.
One that we do, in fact, have under our control, as I was called to arrest all the tigers they had neutralized inside of it. A butchery in the
Right.
western section in what used to be Frank's territory, I believe.
Perhaps we shouldn't make the people of our city, though criminals, pay a price to survive. If they need food, well, should we not provide them food?
Not true, but we aren't a charity exactly.
And is it exactly wise to feed the hand that bites us?
I agree, but what are we going to do with another building that isn't going to even be taxed anyway? Well, no one owns it, except us.
We own
And it was owned by... Yes, but... Okay. If we want to make
They
that
did say that they were willing to make it a food bank.
Where would they be getting the food from?
Their own supplies, I presume.
So they just require a place to store their food?
That's what I was told.
I'm failing to see. So they just require a building, a warehouse, in order to store their food.
Somewhere safe to keep it.
Okay.
You would assume they already have supply lines. They just don't have appropriate storage spaces.
I believe that actually would be a decent offer, actually, to make it into a food bank. However, either have them promote some of our values, I suppose. Say that this is us helping them. Kind of Kishin sponsored. So that they can see that it is us who is assisting them, as well as the Whispers. We are getting community outreach.
The Whispers have been more amicable than the Tigers.
Do they really want to sponsor
Just aside from them
criminal
running around
gang
killing civilians.
and killing our own officers?
We also can't be sure
That's
the
all.
gas attack didn't originate from the Whisperers at this point.
And
that
also,
is true.
didn't we just recently arrest a one Chase Henderson, who
I
is
did
now
hear
not
that.
in our custody? So,
Yes,
I
I
mean,
know.
they've already paid in some form.
They did not pay. That was a mistake they made on their part that needed a harsh reminder that we are not their friends. They can't just walk into any situation, throw their hands up, and say, "I'm Chase Henderson," and get out of it for free.
I believe Knight has something to add.
Yes, Knight.
I believe requiring assurances of the legality of their food bank and its operation, as well as assuring that they avoid and repress criminal activity in the area, could be an appropriate cost. I do not believe giving them this without a caveat will foster goodwill. They may become defensive if we give them this facility without a price.
Paranoid. That is a
That
possibility.
is a good
Why
point.
don't they could have just asked for more?
Why are we so set on already helping them and giving them something?
Well, they've been helpful to us, at least.
In some
In
instances.
some degrees, yes.
More agreeable
More
But-
so
the
than the
rest of
tigers. All the tigers to which we have captured, at least
It
I
is
have captured
best
and I have talked
at this
to.
moment in time that we help them, because if we don't, then they are either going to get this facility somewhere else that is not under our control and that we don't know what they are doing with. So if we handle this now and it is in our control, we know what they're doing with it, we know where it is, and we can take it away from them if we so want to. And
Correct.
if we leave it, you know, it becomes a district problem, and they will scavenge for something else and possibly kill people to get it. They had a mall-sized outpost that, you know, is a significant loss and a significant amount of space that they are obviously looking for.
I agree.
Should be a price either way. No one is talking about bleeding them dry for it, but
No.
there's plenty of dirty work that can be done by them.
Have them take care of something of
Us.
Correct.
You said you wanted secure corridors, right, ma'am?
That's the case. I would not want them working on it, though. I don't want them to know of our secure corridors.
In the early days of Kaijin, I worked very closely with one Toku Odar. It is not impossible to work with the Whisperers closely, and it is not impossible to get them to do your dirty work. Find them something to do that you don't want to do, or have Kaijin associated with, and have them do it. They will do it.
Oh, there's a long list of things we can send them on.
Then find one, pick your favorite, and give them the outposts they need before they decide to pick our civilians.
Very well. I believe I have a amenable solution. We will, as suggested, create this as a Kijin-sponsored food bank from which they are free to take so long as they supply. That is their rent, that we will give food to the needy and our branding will be on it. But they can freely come and go, store their things there, and access it as needed. There won't be questions. There won't be bills or taxes or anything of the sort on their part. It is simply a place for them to store that we will take some food from for the needy. As for what we will cost them, there is a particular long-standing thorn in our side that extends for years beyond any of us were born, I believe. There is a company that likes to stick their nose in too deep to our business. I think when the time is right, we can have an unaffiliated third party, such as the Whisperers, take care of some business there for us.
Are you... Are you sure about this? The Havana are no joke, Octavia. They will kill all of them if they find out that the Whisperers even remotely helped you.
I think it's very funny that you assume that that's what they're talking about.
I know it is. I'd know my company better than anyone else. I'd know the tower. I'd know my father, the people that he dealt with. You don't think I know what she's talking about? If you're
That's not what I
really
said.
awkward, I'd hope you are talking about that.
You should clean your ears.
Assuming I am, I would prefer Whisperers die doing that work than Kijin.
Yes, and I don't disagree, but they will... To the last one, if they find out. I hope you know that. That's all. We're gonna have, like, a semi-war on our hands, if that... I mean, they'll fight to the bitter end if it comes down to that, right?
Darling, there's already an economic war going on between us.
I'm aware. I just am talking about more things on our plate.
Well, if that so happens, and they start killing Whispers, well, we can publish that, run it through the papers. Get their corporate name slung right through that mud. They're killing civilians.
That's a fast way of getting your head mounted on a pike.
This is a lot of theorizing when nothing's even happened. What are we doing now?
For now, we will simply move ahead with the food banks. As for the dirty work, that's a, let's call it a rainy day card.
And I owe you.
I would, if no one else is going to take it up, I would like to go relay the message.
I would actually like to go relay it.
Okay, that's cool, but you've already got something to do, buddy, okay?
Are
Yes,
you
and
going to
it's
go speak
my
with Mr. Henderson?
direct correspondence, then.
I would. You've been getting really close with the Whisperers, and with all due respect, the fact that Octavia doesn't know about half of it concerns me. This
What?
hasn't been brought to my table, and this is the first time that I've heard that you've been talking to Wrench.
I've talked to him twice.
Why?
I am aware of
Why
his
are you-
previous conversations.
Why are you slinging an accusation at me, sir?
I just think it's a bit weird, so...
It's professional concern, however.
After the
The
invasion
same-
of our tower, I have a right to be concerned. That's all. Just... My father died because of that. Just want to make that clear.
Right.
All the more
Which-
reason for care to look after the matter and not put you in danger.
Yes,
Agreed.
exposing you directly to the group that killed your father is likely not the safer course of action here. I understand this shadow of suspicion, but reasonably exposing yourself in that manner is not the safer option here, if your concern is for your life.
Why go to them?
Just black bag the, what is it, the wrench person?
Bring them here.
True.
Or I could go with care.
They did say one other thing during that meeting, and that's to try and give more of a notice whenever we do stop by.
Is the
Right.
giant ship flying overhead not enough of a notice for them?
And they'd like it before the giant ship.
Ah, well, we can't all get what we want.
Since there is some dispute over the matter, I will decide that I will personally reach out to Chase Henderson, and I will organize a meeting where both Councilman Coda and Care can be present. Herzog, I would like you to oversee this meeting, and just, not be seen, not be heard kind of oversight as a just in case. That way, when there is a group, there is less to be worried about. You don't have to have suspicion about an individual. All parties talk to their respective member that they would like to discuss matters with. Everybody keeps up their relations they would like to. Any complaint?
Agreeable to me.
Very well. That'll settle the matter then. Herzog, I believe you had one last thing before we leave.
Yes, this will be a short, very informal thing. I have done some research on our law enforcement and incarceration process. A lot of help from Care on this. We've documented quite a few things, and there is one thing that is very apparent. The people that are on the street, the blue suits, as we jokingly refer to them, they are vastly under-equipped to handle most situations. This is not to say that they're not qualified, but the things that are being thrown at them are just outside of their league to handle. And I'm not talking about specifically Whisperers or Tigers. They tend to stick to their own turfs and respect the boundaries of where they're allowed to fight. I'm talking about third parties like this cult or others.
Do have information on that. That was the main info exchanged with Wrench.
Can get to that in a second. Next thing is that if our police officers do manage to detain criminals in any capacity, we don't have places to put them. We have a few prisons in the outsides of the district. They are not that big, and they're already full at capacity. The only other options that they have then is to arrest them inside of the police stations, which, for a lot of reasons, is not ideal. There is a document, I'm gonna put this here on the table, you may pass this around if you want, outlining upgrading our troops, training regiments, gear that can be obtained, and a expansion of our incarceration system. Building new prisons, places that we can actually lock up those offending the law more properly. Because at the moment we have either almost full prisons, cells in police departments that are vastly understaffed and not well equipped for anyone trying to break people out, or we have black sites where they just vanish off the face of the earth and no one ever knows where they went. Which I'm assuming we don't want to mass arrest people and bring them there.
I'll read over this more thoroughly and send a copy to people who are relevant. Overlord, you can expect a copy of this.
Lovely.
We should keep in mind that it's all fun and nice to just assume we can build prisons, but that's a lot of money, finances, and as well we have the Garden District, which is a prison district. Which if we're having...
You mean, justice?
Alright, we send our prisoners to them then. We have plenty of full cells. If they're willing to take them, we can ship them off right now.
We can work on extraditing.
I believe we have made deals with them in the past to do as such. When we were in the process of them guarding some of our checkpoints, that was something we discussed at the time as well, and they were willing to take prisoners over to there to rehabilitate them, as they put it. But if we want to retouch this in a council meeting with their district, we should probably do that before
We
deciding
might
to
not
make our own
need
decisions.
I'm not sure
entire-
if you know that this would mean that your precious whisperers would also get extradited to the other districts outside of our jurisdiction. This
I'm
goes
aware,
for
but we also have precincts that can hold a certain number of prisoners.
directly next to our officers. So what if we arrest a high-ranking gang member of either Tigers or Whisperers? Do you think they will not just storm that place, kill everyone in sight? As they have in the past?
What makes you think they won't do that at a secure prison that we run and have to move more units to and train people to guard? And I just think that's
Creating work. That is creating workplaces. And prisons are quite profitable.
Indeed. Especially the labor.
Even more profitable when you can actually rehabilitate the people that get put into them and put them out into working jobs.
But hey, if
Guardian,
It will be-
the Guardian
we
District...
have issues with people trying to build their own generators in other districts. We do not want to step on toes.
I am not talking about refurbishing the entire district into a giant prison. I'm talking about
I know
expanding
what you were
our
saying.
limited
Did I say
resources.
that? You know, if you
Yes, you're implying
disrespect me
this.
one more time and
I'm
talk
not
over me,
respecting you, sir.
you have throughout this meeting. I feel disrespected.
Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. How have I done that?
We will move past this. As much as I understand your concern, Councilman, please do leave the management of the ISB members to myself. They are my team, and I do trust them and their judgment. While
That's fine,
some
but this also is my district, and I have a say over what gets built in it, Octavian.
I'm not overriding you. I said I will look over the documents, and I will send them to people who need to see it.
Understood.
Care, darling, would you not have an issue with a certain peacekeeper?
Are you meaning the captain that I had recently arrested, or?
Apologies. Yes, I believe so.
He's being held. He's already been arrested, and those that he's been affiliated with, those that are also possibly corrupt. The information's been extracted, correct, Arzog? It's been dealt with.
Fantastic. Good.
You mentioned something about the cold care.
Yes, the information I was able to get from the Whisperer is that they have dealt with them in the past. They are a religious group, whatever god they follow. Don't quite understand it, but they, from the reports, they enjoy extreme mutilation and torture from the way the bodies were handled. For some odd reason, they'd only attacked anyone in colors. Not a single civilian or those out of colors were assaulted. And the Whispers have dealt with them in the past via getting them out of a hospital that they were apparently cooped up in, an abandoned one.
I see. While you are working with the officers, I would suggest that we revisit what Herzog had mentioned and do an equipment check and training check, as well as potentially put together a specific anti-crime unit for this cult.
Understood.
Excellent. Any other final matters that need to be brought to my attention?
That since our council member already prematurely left.
I will discuss with them what is necessary.
I believe I've been building, or I've requisitioned the buildings of some water reclamation plants, as well as electrolysis and other means. Finally turning this sludge and rain into something more useful.
Very good. I'd like a report of that.
Of course. Currently there is 8 places that have broke ground, but none yet that have finished. The goal after it is concluded is to provide clean drinking water to the entirety of our controlled districts.
Noted.
And a final note. The other request, as I had gotten 2, Wrench had stated that the Tigers are using contraband in their attacks still. Referencing the front lines, as he called it. The grind zones, I believe, as I've seen it called in other documents.
Are they now?
From what I've heard,
The-
yes.
Those areas do not concern us. They are specifically labeled as such, and patrols avoid those areas for the specific reason of allowing these 2 animalistic entities to get out whatever violent desires they have trapped inside of them.
Then, should I allow them the go-ahead to use any contraband in these zones?
I believe that we already gave them this permission if it was not clear, as I had stated to, I believe it was Mr. Henderson, that so long as it does not leave those front line zones and does not affect the civilian populace, then I will look the other way on it. But the second they use it against us or civilians, then it becomes a major problem.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excellent. I will dismiss you all for now. Please do keep in mind that all of these tasks I have assigned to you are of the utmost importance. So please do keep on top of them. There will be some big changes coming, and some of these tasks or changes may seem incomprehensible in the moment, but I promise there will be a day where everything suddenly makes sense. And I ask you all to trust me on that. I have picked you all for this team because I trust you, and I expect the same in return.
Of course, ma'am.
Very well. You're all dismissed.
I'll begin making a map of our
You, me,
current highways
her.
and
Yeah.
preparing
I
a
think it might
consistent
be wise for
routing
you to
system
focus on
throughout
the
them all.
neighborhood watch thing, and I can
Excellent.
work a little bit on the containment. for this
No, please join
rarely planned
Lockdown for your first task,
operation.
and then you can join Knight, Hemlock, and Care for your later ones.
We're on a nice walk to
Good
Dark Zones
few
altogether.
streams, but I do know a company that is selling
I'd like to help with the parade.
LiDAR
At least with the security
equipment
on
that
it.
could be useful.
Oh, don't worry, we'll be working on that. But I think if we're making starts on something, we're not definitely of a health person. Containment and security is my specialty.
Right. Why do you think I ring you up when something's a little too big?
Oh no. she mentioned her report. I don't think she said her.
In our systems later, terminals, phones, whatever, we'll be able to get access to it. Why does the new one smell? No, never mind. Stupid question. I've explained how she exists. She smells dead.
It reminds me of the physiology of dead, yes, actually.
I haven't exactly read her first.
I see.
The chance that I will be taking a deeper dive into those.
Okay.
The councilman to this day still chooses to distrust most of us.
Pleasure to meet you.
I believe.
As you heard, you can refer to me as Care.
They wish to do everything themselves. The main goal of a leader is to delegate your tasks.
Good.
If he was capable of doing it all himself, he would not have
Well,
an
it seems we'll have
ISB.
a exciting time.
Nor
ahead of us.
Octavia,
We'll
for that
be heading
matter.
out soon to check out these start
This is true.
zones, so I hope you have
However,
your gear ready.
This
Do you have
man's
gear?
done.
I was willing to.
He's still likely reeling from the
If you're not equipped, we can
impact
take you
of
to
the
armory.
last one of his
I believe they were meant to go clothes shopping first.
closer friendships,
Mhm.
as he put it.
That is true. You should have
Uniform?
told us about.
Yes. Have that. Hammer.
Hmm.
He was quite harsh
Oh
on his
my God,
feelings,
just-
however.
Was the...
I also have
You said it was offhandedly mentioned, the incident.
Sledgehammer
Hmm?
with
Yes.
light.
something similar.
I'm unaware.
Darling.
I'm not aware of it myself.
The
Let you get
councilman
more acclimated to the building.
left the tower.
With some new
There was that
clothes.
one incident in the other district a bit ago now. Myself and Lockdown responded. We went and assisted the best we could.
Right.
And then the councilman was left with two other councilmen. One Malleus McKay and
Jonas.
Jonas, yes. Alone.
Yes, the
He
man
had asked
is
us to
still-
leave. And when I told him I was waiting in the lobby of the hospital for him, he told me to return to the tower. So our councilman was left alone with two other councilmen.
He briefly explained the endeavor that he went through. Finally witnessing a loved one or friend be returned back from the dead, stepping on bones. Yes.
So good.
A real jolly time.
What's the point of living if when you die you can't stay dead?
Unfortunately, some are ripped away from that opportunity.
Indeed. Hopefully not here. You have very little magic here. Be kind of hard to do that if you don't have magic.
Sounds horrible.
It is.
Most magic is.
No offense to either of you.
None taken.
I am happy
But
to have had a chance to meet you both, even if it is after your true death.
appreciated. But if it was explained and talked about, that's my only concern, because I was told he would talk to Octavia. And if he had not, I was going to bring it up to her.
Yes.
The main concern is still about him. He does own more or less a zone entirely. At least a building inside of that zone. And he still flies that airship. Though I wish he would. One of these
If we
Mars
wish-
saga.
Connection to the Whisperer seems to be getting more sentimental by the day. I think he's grown rather attached to them.
I mean, to be fair,
He-
they are the
People who killed his
best
father.
of the worst options.
He also still
They
keeps
are.
that apparel of his, or some may not say, but
He does. That was surprising, to say the
I
least.
did manage to erase
Almost
much of
arrested him.
the
Why
camera
on earth
footage
the
of
people
that.
that killed your father?
I have no
It doesn't
idea.
add up.
Oh, well, we could always go for the murder mystery part of it. Perhaps he orchestrated it.
I
You
believe
think he
thinking such
orchestrated
things.
patricide?
No, darling. Please. I like to have my wild speculations. Do you never watch film?
They also
Maybe
much
he has deeper
the
emotions than we
same.
know.
Right, you guys are
much
good to
the
go
same
cards down whenever you'd like.
faction
And return to the hollow if you're going there.
Put a cork on. What was his name? Kai something?
Yes,
Yes.
our old shitty boss.
The one that I had to refuse multiple promotions from, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Same manner of group that he still continues to hold ties to. After all they've said and done.
There is a hope for unity with members of our own district, that they will
Well,
be better. They are currently
Of course,
driven to
you're
be worse than they can be due to active conflicts and competition.
Mm.
well, you always lead with the carrot, but you always keep the stick on standby.
Yes,
At the moment, we are leading to them with the carrot, showing them what
Until
we
we
could do
have-
for them.
Until we have more moments of unity, I'm going to retire to my network maintenance. No, if you care to come along, you can semi-walk you through.
I'll start drawing up plans for the confinement.
Along.
If you require
Just send
my
it my way.
boys for any assistance, they are always ready and more than happy to help out in any way that they... What? What do you mean? How did they... What the fuck do you mean? No!
I'll work with our in-house R&D.
Where did they get the chickens?
I'll be down there if you need me.
oh dear.
Aye.
I've created a map of several highway systems that I will be beginning patrols on to check their viability for this private runway.
Yes, the corridors for
A
transportation.
member of my research team has already given this process a code name. The
Hmm.
Blue Brick Road. I believe they're making a reference to the Wizard of Oz.
Sounds like it. Good idea. You know, I wish they would have held the elevator.
True. We could technically deploy without using the elevator.
We could, but that would cause property damage.
You
Unless I
are
call a dropship.
incapable. Correct. You are incapable of unassisted flight.
True. I don't
I
envy you.
could-
I don't think I'd enjoy flying. I can pilot a dropship. I can pilot most other of our vehicles, but it's so. Oh, did you mean to go down deeper?
Two.
Two. I see.
Yes, sir.
Have a nice day. No. Knight, do you believe me a good friend?
I do not believe I have many friends to which to compare you to. I believe you are a good friend. but I do not have a large enough sample pool to state the differences. I am happy enough that you are my friend. Ranking you as good or bad is not something I care for.
Thank you. Okay. To work then.
To work. I'll be returning to the Spear now.
Safe travels. I'll be going back to my station.